Hi, friends. I'm Travis Marker, and this is Speak Your Courage, where we have open conversations with vulnerability and compassion. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Speak Your Courage. It's good to have you back. If you've been following along my life journey of what it's like for a gay guy to grow up in the 70s and 80s and into the 90s in the Midwest, you know we're somewhere in that age of, let's say, 18 to early 20s. So that's the time period we're in right now. We finished last one. It was a heavy episode. It was about sexual assault. Thank you for those of you who sent me questions. It's very interesting. I get a lot of questions just separate as some of you know me, so you send me text messages and things like that. There's one question that I wanted to touch on right quick, and that was a question around why not say something, why not mention this predator's name? And I don't have a good answer for that. I honestly do not have a good answer for that. I know if I say the name, it's going to cause a bunch of family drama. And I guess I'm just not strong enough or willing to go through the family drama. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I'm thinking. I know that some of you said once a predator, always a predator. I agree with that. I somewhat agree with that. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental block and I'm saying, I don't think that's what I don't think he continued to do that. I think he might have at that time, but I don't think he's doing that today, just based on who he is and where he is and what's happening in his life. But that could also be a safety net for me that I'm saying that. But it's not where I am today. One of the things I said last time is you tell your story when you are ready and how you want to tell your story. You own it. You own every single bit about it. Um, and I wholeheartedly believe that. Don't let anybody, you know, disparage you. And nobody did me. Nobody did. I'm not saying that all. These are questions that are coming my way. So I just want to like verbalize that question because I think it's an amazing question. I appreciate people asking these questions of me. And so I want to make sure that, you get a response. And though that's not a good response because I don't have a real good reason for not doing it, the reason today is I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready, and I don't know that I will ever be ready to say this individual's name. All right. That said, keep the questions coming. Try to respond online to every one of them. That particular one I just wanted to mention. So thank you. I hope you are listening to this one. I know who you are, and I just wanted to make sure I verbalized your question because it means a lot that you are asking these questions of me. Okay, so today we're moving into this marriage world. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, when you're talking about your past, and I say, I was married, or one of my friends will say, yeah, he was married to a woman. And they're like, what? You were married to a woman? I'm like, yes. Why is that so hard to believe? All of this gray you see says I'm old. Well, if I'm old, I was more than likely probably married to a woman. I realize a lot of people were not, and I appreciate those who were able to live their full life and live that gay life, and I just wasn't able to do it. Um, all right, so did I date women? Yes, always had a girlfriend. And here's what's interesting about that. It's like two completely separate things, and they don't connect, right? So over here is you date women. Over here is you think about men. Those two never came together, ever, ever. Like, I didn't even know how to bring one side into the other side. I think about men was never like, oh, I could marry a guy one day. I could live with a guy one day. No, those thoughts were never there. This side over here is this is how life works in the Midwest. Doesn't matter who you are. You marry a woman, you have children, and you grow old, and then you have grandkids, and so on and so forth. So those two sides never come together, ever. And I didn't even know how to bring them together in my mind. All right, so now I'm out of high school. Well, as I've said, always dated women out of high school too. I'm working at a daycare. I don't ask why. I don't, no idea. Me and kids. I love your kids. I never really wanted kids of my own. Um, so I'm working at a daycare. I meet Amy. We were introduced by another gentleman there. Actually, we started dating, had a great time. She's a beautiful woman. It's so funny. I remember, oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of it. Spiral. That's what it was. A spiral perm. The things I can remember. And it was expensive, like way back there. It felt like it was like 80 or $120. And I mean, that's like almost half your rent back in those days. And I remember she was like, I have to get a spiral perm, and she had beautiful hair. And anyways, so some of these crack me up. Okay, so we've been married about it, or I'm sorry, been married. We've been dating about a year, and we looked at rings one time, and I asked her, after that sometime to get married. It was nothing fancy. It was not exotic. It was not creative. It was not anything like what it should have been. Nothing. And it wasn't even who I am. I want to create this exotic, creative, one nobody else had this experience type of thing. Now, it doesn't have to be surrounded by a million people or anything, but that's kind of who I am. She got none of that. So sorry, Amy, you got ripped in the proposal category. And maybe that has something to do with, I don't know that I wanted to get married. Not to Amy. That's good English there, Travis. But I just don't because this other side, remember the other side over here. But I don't know how to bring the sides together. So anyways, all right, so we get engaged. We plan a beautiful wedding. I remember her parents telling us, we can't have a dance. And I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, oh, no, we're having a dance. Oh, yes, there will be alcohol. Like, I get your side. Remember, there's the groom side. We drink. And Amy even is like, no, we're going to do that. So we had a good mix of what I would say was from her family's religion and our side of just fun and drinking. And yeah, beautiful wedding. Um, yeah, beautiful event. So remember, I'm in the Army Reserves, which we'll talk about the military in a different episode somewhere down the road. I'm in the military or the Army Reserve, and I'm out of Wichita, Kansas. So I'm living in Hutchinson at this point in time. And so I don't want to move too far from where we live because I don't want to switch my unit from Wichita to a different unit. I don't want to do that. And Amy and I had decided, okay, we don't want to live in Hutchinson anymore. It's too small. So what is the biggest, closest town to Wichita we could live in? Oh, what's Oklahoma City? Now, neither one of us, we had been there, but neither one of us knew anything about it. So after our wedding, the first step in our honeymoon was to go to Oklahoma City, get jobs, and then when we really go on our honeymoon. Well, we did it. We both went, found jobs, come back, moved on our honeymoon, come back, go to Oklahoma, or go back, give our notices, move to Oklahoma City. All right. We got married in, oh gosh, Amy, April maybe of 91. All right. So I work for a bank and my boss, I think, is gay. I don't know that he is, but I think he is. But he's dating a woman at this point in time. Another gentleman had started at the bank as well, and we had befriended him. And I did not know he was gay, but he was, but I did not know this. So, Amy and myself, my boss, and the girl that he was dating, and this other gentleman, we would all get together for birthdays or events or things like this. It's Amy's birthday in September, and we all go out, we're going to get drinks, whatever, and everybody wants to go dancing for the night. So there's this great dance club in Oklahoma City. It's called Angles. I'm like, well, I'm all in. We're going dancing. How fun can this be? And then in the car, I'm sitting in the back seat. I hear this language, this noise around. Do you think Travis will be okay with it? Can we do this? Should we do this? Should blah 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 blah. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What are they saying? And what I had not figured it out, but what is happening is it's a gay bar we're going to, and they're curious to know, am I going to be okay going to a gay bar? It's so interesting that thought because everybody else in my life has called me, well, yeah, he's gay, he's a fag. Now here I am with this group of people, and they're worried about taking me to a gay bar. Those things don't compute either. Either people think I am, but these people don't think I am, or are they all just playing the game and acting like, well, we secretly know he is, but let's all pretend like he's not and say, do you think he'll be okay? I have no idea. But in the next episode, it's going to be Amy's going to be here with me. And that's a good question for Amy. And I'm curious to know if Amy even remembers some of these, because while these were impactful moments in my life, coming out as a gay man and married a woman, to her, they were probably like, I don't even remember that day, but let's find out. All right. So we go in, and I will tell you, this is a change in my, a change in my soul is probably the best way to say this. When I walked into a gay bar, the very first time in my life, we all walked in as a group. I had never seen or experienced anything like that ever. So year 1991, if those of you want to like figure out what it was like walking in. And this was a dance club, so the music and the lights and everything was going on. There were guys on boxes, dancing, the go-go dancers. There were people kissing. There were people, holding hands. I I just I think I went numb. I don't know what reaction I had. I don't know what emotion I had because I think I completely felt the inside of my body change and say, "Oh my gosh, there is a gay world. There is actually a gay world with people, with men. They like each other. They're together." We don't even have Ellen on TV yet. The closest thing we had was Dynasty, and the one gay guy that we got to see. I think he made kissed a guy one time. Um, I remember telling Amy, I said, "Look." So my boss was across the bar. I remember I can still see where he was standing today, kissing a guy. I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's kissing that guy," and he's dating this girl. Um, I There are no words to explain what it's like to have kept something bottled up inside. Remember my two worlds. Marry a woman, think about guys. There's this is the time it all came together. Those two worlds had always been separate in my entire life, and all of a sudden they came crashing together. I mean, crashing together. Explosion occurs, and I am standing there. Um, Great night. I don't remember, those pieces of the night. I just remember how I felt when I walked in that door. All right, so that is September, right? So Amy and I had a conversation the following February, so 5 months, about divorce. This is where I feel horrible for Amy. This is not that I don't for all kinds of things, not that I don't for getting married and divorce and all of that type of stuff, but this one rates up there at the very top. And I don't know that she knows this. I don't think I've said this to her before, but between then October and or September and February, I don't know, we'd create an argument about something, or we would maybe start to bicker, but I would turn the bicker or the argument into something big where I would then leave the house. Because then I would go to my friend's house, the other guy that was with us at the bar that night, who I now know is gay, and then we would go out to the gay bar. And it was my opportunity to go to the gay bar and like shed skin and take a breath and just like, I don't know, just experience life without a shield, without a mask. And nothing happened. I never cheated. It's nothing like that. But I feel horrible just in the fact that I'm creating arguments just so I can get out of the house and go to a gay bar. So Amy will be listening to this episode, of course, before she comes on in the next one. So we'll touch on that, I'm sure, too. All right, so we get to February. We've had many an argument. We get to February, the Olympics is on TV. We have an L-shaped, I don't know, if it's couch or chairs. She's on one side, I'm on the other side. And it wasn't a knockdown, drag out conversation. It was just more of a this isn't working and let's get a divorce. I don't know who said what and that part of it. I do know that Amy then said, "Are you gay?" Now, I didn't say I wanted a divorce because of any of those reasons. We were talking that we didn't get along, and Amy brought that up. So there's something in her head already that is telling her that I am gay. I today still don't know the answer. I say I did not say I was gay. I gave an answer of I don't know or something along those lines. She came back at me with all of my friends told before we got married, all of my friends told me you were gay and I defended you. And I hear that today and my heart bleeds and I'm like, what a wonderful person that she is to have said that. My question back to Amy is, you stood up for me. I understand that I'm going to be your husband. It was probably let's say it was the right thing to do. But did you think I was gay? Did you and your friends like, I think he is? And you're like, he could be, but I don't think he is. And we're still going to get married. Like, and then during that conversation, why did you ask that I was gay or if I was gay? Questions for Amy. All right. So the divorce occurs. Um, and we did it ourselves. We did one of those like $99 and you buy it and you write it, actually type it on Word Perfect and all of that. And in the course of all of that, she got the car. She got our car, which was really my car, which I was ever so pissed off about because I'm like, I had that car before her and I love that car and she got that car and I'm still today pissed off that she got that car. So just FYI, Amy. So I ended up with my dad's 1980 Chevy Love. Look that up online. And it was the Mikado edition, so it was fancy with a stripe. All right. This is my funny story, or I think it's funny. I'm driving back from Wichita from a reserve weekend. And the big bridge outside of Guthrie, I can't remember the river whatever river that is. I'm driving and as we're coming up on that, and I'm like, keep in mind, speed limit back in these days, 55. And my pickup barely would go 58. So I'm like, that looks like my car. That looks like my car. And as I get closer, I'm like, oh, that's Amy. So I stopped. She had had car trouble. She'd gotten a big old brand new TV from her parents. And so we put it it didn't even fit. We laid it in the bed of the truck. It barely fit. Anyways, in those days, I was like, you got my car and you on the side of the road. Um, she doesn't know I thought that, but she will as soon as she hears this. And then we get to my place, and her boyfriend at that time comes and picks her up. I was like, I don't know, just the things that happen. Anyways, so to bring this all to a close, um, I am now telling people, you back up a little bit, but I'm not telling people I'm getting a divorce. But mine is intermixed with that I'm gay. So remember in a previous episode, I had literally said I didn't feel I really had that coming out because Amy was telling people I was gay. What, but rightfully so. I mean, she's saying, "Hey, we're getting a divorce." Why? Well, because Travis is gay. So I am racing to everybody before that. The only person that really had anything to say was my dad, and I thought this was kind of ironic because he said, Travis, you should not be getting a divorce. You married her, you stay with her for the rest of your life. You do anything and everything for her, despite you being gay. That part does not matter. I thought it was ironic since he was divorced from my mother, but um, you might find that funny today. Hopefully, Dad, you find that funny today. So here's the thing. We've now brought all of these the younger Travis, we've connected all the dots. hopefully to this point. Because this is now where we get to adulthood and where we finally enter into the gay, I'll say the quotes, gay world. We've talked about sexual assault and what happened. We've talked about coming out and how the coming out and getting married to a woman and the divorce and all of that bleeds together to where we are today. So hopefully I've been able to connect those dots for you, and it's been, I don't know, somewhat entertaining to this point. My Oklahoma or my Kansas dry sense of humor. So in the next episode, it's going to be Amy and I. So here's your homework for today. Your homework is a little different. One, it is what questions do you have for Amy? What would you like for me to ask Amy during this next episode? So write those in, chat those in, text me. I don't care how you get it to me, but send me anything you would like for me to ask Amy, and I will be sure and ask Amy those questions. All right. That is the homework for today. All right. I appreciate each one of you for listening to this, sticking with me as I'm telling my story. Hopefully, you are getting to know me a little bit better, hearing some vulnerability in me, taking that vulnerability with yourself, helping somebody else with that as well. You're taking some pieces of this. It's not just listening, but you're taking some pieces of this and you're either putting it into your life or you're helping somebody else. So that's my hope. But again, today's homework, questions for Amy. All right, with that, thanks everyone. I appreciate it. And always remember to speak your courage.